Hello, I'm Alastair for Electric Scotland. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our history section on the site. Admittedly, this is by far the largest section that we have on the site, so there's considerable reading. I mean, I would say years worth of reading within that section. Because we have so much information in there, you'll find the menus go quite deep. For example, if you were to click on history, go to the section and look at the section on Highland clearances. When you click on that, you get another menu, which is really an index page to quite a number of articles we've got on the Highland clearances. Essentially, it's an exploration, really, that you'd read what you'd like to read. I mean, for example, if you're interested in Bonnie Prince Charlie, we have a whole section, quite a major account of him. Basically, it starts from when he's in Italy, considering coming to Scotland, and we take you right through his adventures in Scotland, through Culloden, to the many months he spent trying to escape after the Battle of Culloden, until eventually he got back home to Italy. So there must be about 50 pages actually in that section if you want to read the whole account. We have a major account of the history of the Highlands. In there it discusses an awful lot of the clan feuds that went on, as well as all the kings and queens of Scotland. We have a big page, important page on William Wallace, which is a very popular page on the site. We have a lot of information about all kinds of things, really. I mean, for example, we've got the Friends of Grampian Stones. This is an organisation that documents all the old stones, standing stones in the Grampian area, and they very kindly shared a lot of that information with us on the site. We have a lot of historical articles about Scotland and the Scots. The thing to note there is, for example, we've got a complete section on charms, amulets, and stuff of that nature. We got a discussion on how water was important, like the springs that had magical properties. We've got the social life of the Scots within there, so you can explore that. We've got, for example, the Domestic Annals of Scotland. That was from, I think it's 1561 through to 1780, something like that. So you can read about a lot of the interesting things that went on. I mean, for example, we have the book about the Scots in Germany, and you should read the Domestic Annals. You'll find there was great concern in there by the populace about the thousands of Scots that literally went to fight for Germany in the 30 Years' War. So, you know, the kind of the book on Germany, plus that, plus the 30 Years' War that we've documented, that all ties that area up if you're exploring that type of timeline. And certainly if you went to like the history of the Highlands of Scotland, it is actually organised by timeline, so you're going to get BC into the Roman period and through, so you can go to a particular timeline that interests you. I often say, if you're interested in doing your clan research, if you found that your clan was certainly active around a certain period of time, it's quite nice to go to these general historical periods where you can go to that time period and get an idea of what was going on in Scotland at the time. It kind of gives you a better understanding, I think. Certainly, we've got like a world history, but what we've tended to do is that we've actually got a new section on the site, which I will discuss in a further video, about how you can read about the Scots that left Scotland. And I mean, they did an amazing job, but we've got huge records on the site about the Scots that left Scotland. We also have accounts of the earls and so forth, the principal Scottish chiefs and so forth. A lot of the information is contained within the general historical information. I think the main thing I would say about exploring our history section is maybe take time to explore the various links, because I say the menus are quite deep, and that's only because we've got literally tens of thousands of pages on the site, so they have to be deep. I would certainly encourage you to use our site search engine. It's actually using the Google search engine, and it's in the header of our site. but the default is to search just our site. And if you think about it, it makes sense if you're looking for a Scottish relevance to your search term to search just our site, because you know that virtually every link that's presented will have something to do with Scotland, whereas a general web search certainly wouldn't. I mean, if you were to search for McDonald's, you're probably going to find the McDonald food chain, for example, which has nothing to do with Scotland. If you search for McDonald on Electric Scotland, almost everything you find will have a relevance to Scotland. So I certainly encourage you to use that. I think in general terms, there's just so much information available that I think it's probably, if you're looking for something specific, use the search engine. If you're looking for timelines, maybe go to things like the history of the Highlands of Scotland, perhaps go to the domestic annals of Scotland, and you'll get timeline periods in there, and so you can read about that area. Clearly, through the book section, you would find we've got a whole ton of Scottish books up, which are all about history. So we give you some connections through the history section of the site to specific books that really are particularly useful. So I think in conclusion, all I can really see is it's a huge section, and I think it's worth your while spending maybe an evening just exploring what is on it, and then perhaps come back for another visit to start reading more specific material. Or if you're really looking for something very specific, use our site search engine, because that's easily the best and quickest way to find things. I mean, one of the examples I often give is if you're looking for a place, for example, then it's going to be a lot easier using the search engine than trying to browse through the site. Although we have historic places in Scotland, we have a whole section there, and there's little pictures with lots of the historic properties around. Historic Scotland in Scotland in the very early days let us put up a brochure that they produced about some of their historic properties. But to that, over the years, we've added considerably more properties, and a lot of people have contributed stuff to the site. I'd make a point of saying that Stan in Scotland, he's basically sent us a ton of information and pictures on the Grampian area of Scotland, and other people have sent in lots of pictures. So, and again, we do encourage our visitors, if you know of a place that we don't mention, or you've got pictures of a place that we don't have a picture of, please email it in to us, and we'd be delighted to put it up on the site. So there you have it. That's the history section of Electric Scotland. Thanks.